जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी,
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी,
गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी,
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी,
यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन,
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन,
यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन,
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन,
यमुना तीरावनचारी,
यमुना तीरावनचारी,
यमुना तीरावनचारी,
यमुना तीरावनचारी,
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी,
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी,
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी,
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय ओम विष्णु पाद परमहंस स्तोत्र सच्चे श्रीमद् स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की
जय।
श्रीमद् भगवत गीता की
जय।
जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंद।
हरि बोल।
So, Hare Krishna. I plan to have a series of classes on one particular topic. I want to give this topic as title, Surrender unto Me. So, this will be a wrap-up summary of the whole Bhagavad Gita in say 4 days or 5 days. Let us say how it takes in 4 days or something. So I begin with 18.66, which is the shloka Bhagavad Gita 18.66. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shucha. So this is the ultimate instruction of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. After taking through all the different processes, after this everything, finally Krishna tells to Arjuna, surrender unto me. I will take care of everything. Now, after this, you see there is no more discussion. Arjuna doesn't have any more questions. And he agrees for the proposal. And then immediately Krishna tells the Falashruti, this who will be benefited by this message and who will not be interested in this message. And then Sanjaya says, what is the result of hearing this Krishna Arjuna talk? However, there is one important point to be considered in this, that when Krishna gave this instruction, after that, before Bhagavad Gita started, Arjuna came to do war. Then when Bhagavad Gita started, at that time, seeing his friends and relatives, he was bewildered. He was not interested in doing. After Krishna gave the whole Bhagavad Gita, including this instruction, finally Arjuna engaged in war. So, why I am bringing this point? So there is a strong opinion in Krishna conscious movement that Krishna gave the whole Bhagavad Gita. He gave the whole philosophy. He explained Karma Yoga. He explained Jnana Yoga. He explained Ashtanga Yoga. He explained everything. He explained Bhakti Yoga also. Finally, he says, you leave everything and just surrender. So the idea is that you reject everything what is told till now and just surrender. Is that the understanding? That is the question here. There are some sampradayas Vaishnava Sampradayas. In particular, it may not be the philosophy of Ramanujacharya, I don't know, but it's quite famous among Sri Sampradaya today that Bhakti Yoga is very difficult for today's age. Bhakti Yoga requires that you have to be devotee from the beginning and you should have Sukriti from previous lives and you should be born in a big family. All that is very impractical. So, Sharanagati is more important than Bhakti. So, when you surrender to Krishna, then Krishna takes care of everything. Then other principles like Bhakti Yoga and all are not so important. If you can't surrender to Krishna, then you surrender to Guru through the process of initiation. So once you take initiation under Guru, then automatically everything else will be taken care of. Is that the right understanding of this shloka? What do you think? Till now, whatever we have discussed, one thing is that leave everything else and just surrender to Krishna. All Krishna's instructions also you reject. Just whatever he is saying now is
surrendering is a part of devotion. It's a part of devotion.
Yes. So in the process of surrender, bhakti is there. Okay, agreed. What about other instructions of Krishna?
Well, he's not saying to reject all that and surrender. It is a level like, Arjuna came to that stage, so he said like that. But all cannot come to the stage of Arjuna like there are 3 modes and all these things has to be crossed, and like that person Tamaguna, the person is Rajaguna, Sattva. So everyone can't come to the stage of I am completely surrendered to Krishna, nothing else.
So everyone is not on the highest level of surrender where completely dependent on Krishna. So they will take their own time.
So all these things he thought is the process of that.
There is one more thing that Krishna was God. And because he was God, he gave Arjuna instruction to fight. So we get instruction from our spiritual master to do whatever service we do, whatever. So now, did Krishna create any standard as to what instruction to be given for generations? Or is it that because he is God, he gave some magic instruction? That no, you just surrender to me and you do what?
He set some example, some standard.
So that we have to analyze little bit deeply. Generally, the understanding is that we are surrendered to Krishna. Why? Because we are devotees, we are Vaishnavas. And we are surrendered to Krishna means we are initiated under Guru. We are in an institution, we are initiated under Guru, we are surrendered to Krishna. We are going back to Godhead. Correct. So, is it such a easy process? Navavida Bhaktadav Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. Then, what is that? Adav Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. Anartha Nivritti. Bhajana Kriya Anartha Nivritti. Tato Nishtha Tatarushi. Then comes Asakti, Bhava and Prem. So, okay, initial Shraddha everyone will have. Then with that Shraddha, they will start doing Sadhu Sangha. And then Bhajan Kriya will start in Sadhu Sangha. Anartha Nivritti. But this phase is going to take a lot of time. Anartha Nivritti. So, what Krishna exactly wants to communicate in Bhagavad Gita when he is using this verse of Sarvadharman Parityaj? So, how practically it applies in our lives? Because if we don't know how to apply it practically in life, it becomes somewhat fanatic. So, a little bit if we study the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. What was the situation in first chapter of Bhagavad Gita? We saw Duryodhana is diplomatic. He is diplomatically dealing with all of them. He is praising him, and he is relying on material strength. We have more material strength because of such great generals. Who are the great generals? Bhishma. He doesn't have any Ichamrityu, he has. Whenever he desires, he will die. Drona. Drona means he only himself has to come and fight against him. Then only he will be defeated. Such a powerful person. Then comes Ashwatthama. Ashwatthama has no death. He's Chiranjeevi. Still he is there. So Duryodhana was very confident that such a powerful Sena, how can we get defeated? But he has to just diplomatically manage so that all of them are together. That's all for it. With Arjuna, the calculation was different. I have Bhagwan and whatever he is. So Arjuna already had that faith that Krishna is Bhagwan and I have to listen to him. So right from the beginning, that faith was there. Okay, that Bhagwan is on my side. Okay, and I'm dependent on him. What is the additional thing that came up after the end of the book? That is the thing we have to study. There is something extra that Arjuna gave. Otherwise, these 18 chapters don't have any value. Because if you see, what were Arjuna's arguments? He was telling that it will be sin, papa, papa me vashpe tasmat hatvaitanathataini. Killing my fellow men will cause sin. And if sin happens, then what will happen? Because of sin,
all the male members of the family dies
yes,
and the female will
and
be
they will be
exploited.
unprotected, they will be exploited, it leads to Varna Sankara. And with that, what happens is the Shraddha Karma will stop. Arjuna is a pure devotee, he is directly serving the Lord. Till that time, he was still doing this karmas properly.
Setting the example.
Yes. So he was still concerned that these things will stop. Right. He was not like, I am a pure devotee and I don't have any responsibility. Now, so the Arjuna situation was he is not going to do. Why? Because so many problems I don't want to do. So it is explained that with all this confusion, Arjuna is still in ignorance. How will we get to know that Arjuna is in ignorance?
Because he has an attachment for bodily platform.
Externally, what is seen? Arjuna's ignorance is seen in which way? Externally.
If he understands Krishna as God, he has to obey the desire and orders of the God.
But that God has still not expressed.
Means if he does like if he is on the battlefield, that means he's supposed to do that.
You see, Arjuna is lamenting. He is unhappy, he is crying, he is lamenting. Crying, lamentation, unhappiness is a sign of ignorance. When you are in knowledge, you don't lament. The primary thing with people of this material world, why they are shoka and akanksha, why they have lamentation and why they have hankering, because of ignorance. Once you are in knowledge, then you will not have these problems. So, with all this logic, with all this intellect, with all these ideas, Arjuna's problem is still not. He is still lamenting. So, he needs something more. And that is Sankhya Yoga. The difference between body and soul. And Krishna is not willing to tell that till he surrenders to as a disciple. So when Arjuna agrees, okay, my confusion is not solved by my intelligence, I surrender to you as a disciple. Now you tell me what to do. And that is where Krishna begins his spiritual instruction, saying that nobody is dying, everyone is eternal, and they are just changing bodies. The whole Sankhya Yoga section is there. If you see the second chapter, after giving the body and soul example, after convincing him that you are soul, you are not body, you are not going to die, Arjuna is supposed to be in knowledge. Now, again, Krishna is telling him, people will laugh at you. Bhayad ratana duparatam iti mansantete maharat. People will laugh at you. You ran away. These accusations. After giving such transcendental topics, why he is again coming to mundane topics? That is something interesting. We will gradually discuss that, but you keep in mind that what Shankaracharya has told is that no, he has given both spiritual reasons and he has given both material reasons also. Now Arjuna can choose between. Doesn't look like that because Krishna is giving pure spiritual instructions here in the Rangana plane. So what the reality is? So that has to be little deeply analyzed. We will see because second chapter of Bhagavad Gita title is
Contents of the Gita summarized.
Contents of Gita summarized, Gita Sarasam. So it is like the index of the book. When you open the book, index is second chapter. So all the topics of all the 18 chapters are there in the second. You just have to, it will be a good exercise if we can draw connection. This shloka is discussed in 6th chapter. This shloka is discussed in 12th chapter. If we can draw that connection, no, it will be very beautiful.
I can guess 2, 3.
Huh?
I can guess 2, 3.
Ah.
Like Nistraya Gunya Bhavarjuna.
Where is
Gunya
that?
Vishayavaja Nistraya Gunya, that 14th chapter.
Hmm.
And Neha Vikramana Shasti Pratyavayana, that is like 6th chapter, like, anybody
Prapya
born,
Punya Kritan Lokan
exactly,
Uchitam.
that he is taking whole discussion there.
Yes.
Then, Yehi Samsparsha Dabhoga, 5th chapter comes, this Vedavadara Tappata, Yanam Pushpitam Vacham, that's 5th chapter and 40.
So like that, second chapter is contents of Gita summarized. So when you develop Atma Jnana, knowledge of spirit soul, what will be the immediate consequence? You will become Sthitaprajna. You will become peaceful in life. Then you will have no anxiety. So Arjuna asks, okay, how does he look like? How does he walk? How does he talk? Sthitaprajna. Tell me more about him. Then Krishna gives the whole description. That Sthitaprajna means he is peaceful, not disturbed by senses. He withdraws everything. And then any attachments don't disturb him. He is peaceful in all, just like the rivers flow, but the ocean is not disturbed. Like that, he is completely peaceful. And he is not disturbed by the flowery language of Vedas. Vedas attract people, no? Saying you go to Swarga, you enjoy material happiness. Shreyam, Vidyam, Buddhim, Shriyam, Ayusham, Teja, Arogyam, Dehime. All these things, Falashruti will be there in the Vedas. He is not attached to all that flowering language. Okay. So, what happens to such a person? He goes back to world. Punar Nirvana. He doesn't come back again to this material. Okay. Now, what happens is the essence of second chapter is we have to surrender to Guru. We have not this body, we have the soul. Come to spiritual consciousness, not get attracted by the rituals of the Vedas. If you are in this state, you will be peaceful. Eventually, you will go back to God. Any other topic discussed in second chapter?
Qualities of Sthitaprajna.
That's all. So it means that what happens with Atman? You will reach in this world also, you will be like that, and then you will be eligible. Basically, the whole Bhagavad Gita, whatever we have known, is covered here. So, because this is the thing, what we do is we just close the book. Okay, there is nothing more to learn now. We have wrapped up the whole thing. Correct. This is one problem because where the Bhagavad Gita was spoken,
The battlefield of Kurukshetra.
Senayor Uvayor Madhya. At what time it was spoken? After the Shankanada had happened, Arjuna, Pravrutte, Shastra Sampate, Dhanurudyamya Patva, Rishikesham Tadavakyam, Idamaham Hipati. Means he has held his bow, pulled his arrow, about to shoot the first target. Conch is blown, war is going to start, Arjuna is going to shoot the first arrow. In that emergency situation, this much knowledge is enough. Everything else can be discussed later on. What was the need to spend so? Sure. If Krishna's message is that Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mahamekam Sharanam Vraja, means leave everything and do that. This one sentence at the beginning, okay, Baba, emergency is there, just surrender to me, I am God. Everything else we'll, after we go home, we'll discuss. It would have been enough to say that. In that emergency, they had time to discuss 18 chapters.
So like
So,
30, 40 minutes.
ah,
Just 30.
yeah. So, that too when the war is about to begin, they had that much time. Today we are lazy. Bhagavad Gita is needed for initiation. Bhagavatam first canto or second canto is needed for initiation. Once we study that, never see that again. How initiation is over. Bhakti Shastri. Okay, okay. Model question papers are there. Search the answers in the Bhagavad Gita. Write it. Ha, 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 finish. You're like that. No. Again and again, again and again, there is a need to study that. And we get new realizations in this. So, here we intend in this course to discuss what this surrender is. First, we will discuss from Bhagavad Gita perspective. If surrender was required, was there any need to mention karma? Was there any need to mention yajna? Was there any need to mention jnana? Ashtanga yoga. Surrender is the only thing. Was there any need to mention Sattoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna? The need of Vedas, the Daivi and the Asuri Prakriti. And those people who are not interested in spiritual life, they will be among the three, somewhere. So much broad spectrum was there a need to cover. What this surrender God wants from. Finally, we'll end with the discussion of Ramananda and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What they actually discussed. What they mean by each of the points. I mean, firstly, Ramananda tells about basic things, then he talks about Varnashrama, and then gradually Sarva Dharman. For more, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling. So what they are meaning? What they mean? Is it something simple that I am a great devotee now? I don't have any of these things to do. So this much introduction is enough for today. On this, we will build on this one by one. We'll study each chapter from the perspective of 18.66. What each chapter means. Okay. So we'll close the questions and all we'll take in the next session. Hare Krishna.